This video is just going to be kind of a test video. I got a new product from Levi that they've come out with for their countertops. This is a black that they've come out with, and he gave me some of it just to go see if I like it or not. It's supposed to go a lot further. I guess it's got more pigments in it. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do is, normally I mix up 12 ounces. And so this time I've just decided 10 ounces will cover the board. It's a little bit thinner. So instead of putting in less color, I'm just going to color this like I normally would. But since we don't have as much of it on the board, I should be able to tell if it colored well or not. So it just kind of gives me an idea if it's better, and I should be able to see at any point, you know, how much better. So I'll start out with just a little bit of this, and I'll keep adding until I get my normal consistency and see what the difference is. But again, this is a new product he's coming out with. It may already be out, it may not be. I'm not sure on that yet. But it's a much heavier black. This container probably weighs 30% more than the old one, so my guess is it's going to do what as he promised. So I'll put that's about half of what I usually put in. And I'll start with that and see how it looks. Again, just use both sides of your stick. Stir, make sure you get all the way around your cup. Again, on a sample, it's not super important, but you really don't want a sticky spot in your sample either. So pay as much attention as you can to making sure everything's mixed up. I don't change containers on a sample, but on a countertop, definitely do that. It'll save you a lot of headache in the future. So I pretty well got that mixed up. And it's definitely black. I could have probably even went with a little bit less. There's absolutely none of the sticks showing right now. And with the other black, if I would have put that much in, the same amount, I would definitely see some of the edge of the stick right here. So, as promised, it's definitely got more pigment in it, much better. I think it's going to go quite a bit further. So I'll get this on, and I'm going to actually let this set for quite a while before I do any coloring. I'm going to do a dirty pour. I'm not sure what colors yet. I'll figure that out here in a minute. I just wanted to try this new black. Probably try to get a few bright colors in it. Kind of let you see how far you can see through it when those brighter metallics sink down into it. It was just, I guess, more of a test for this coloring to see if I like it. So far, it looks awesome. Lots of color there. So, well, let's get this spread out. And again, I only mixed 10 ounces this time, so I'll use most of everything that's in the cup, and I'll have to make sure it's not running over the edge a lot. But it's pretty easy to do. That's more than I usually drain out of my cup, because I usually like to save some over here, but for this, not necessary. I'm going to go with complete different colors. So, and just Get it spread out around your board. Get close to your edges. Doesn't have to be exact. But right now is when you're trying to get it even across the board. And that's pretty even, so make sure everything's wetted. It won't flow evenly at all if it's not wetted. So just go back, get all your edges wetted. I know this is a sample, it's not necessary, but I just do it. Okay, we've got our edges coated. Just kind of feel around it right now. You're not going to leave any tracks or anything. So just feel around. If you got any low spots, just drag some across. Feels pretty good. I'm going to leave that there. We're not going to have many drips or anything off this one since I didn't use a lot. But I'm going to stop the video. I'll heat it. Get the first round of air bubbles out of it. And then I'll let it set probably at least 15 minutes before I do anything else to it. Again, I want to start this one pretty late in the process, probably I'd say even 40 minutes out. I'm just going to let it set, and then I'll come back and put my colors on. I want these colors to flow out quite a bit, and then the edges I'm going to try to wash into this black with some alcohol just to see what it does, just to see how deep that coverage of the black is. So we'll stop here. We'll be back, finish it up. Okay, I was sitting here kind of watching this thing, just zoning out, and it just kind of reminded me of how pretty this stuff can be. You know, you can always sand projects when you're done. Sometimes it gives it a better effect, but with this black, if it were just a showpiece, this would be awesome. If you can see the light, well, you're always seeing the light, right? I know you get tired of that, but the light in this black, to see how much it levels and comes out like a mirror is just unbelievable. But actually what I wanted to get to was this new black that they've got. I'm very impressed with. Normally on my boards I don't waste time painting the edges, so this is a regular MDF board, which is a pretty light tan, about the color of these old walls. And normally a lot of the blacks, if you're sparing on your black on a sample without painting this edge, you'll see a little bit of tan showing through that black because the epoxy is so thin. But with this black, it's almost like I dyed my board and then poured it over clear. It looks like the black sunk into the MDF and colored it like an ink. There's absolutely no tan shining through it. And again, I only used half the coloring, and was sparing on my epoxy. So this black's pretty amazing. I hope they come out with some more colors like this, because this is an awesome black. So anyway, enough of that. What I'm doing right now is I put about maybe a third of a teaspoon, which is more than you need, of the metallic silver. What else did I use? I used a little translucent green and some turquoise. So this is the translucent green. It just looks white in the powder until it gets mixed with some colors. But I just wanted to see, just take some lighter colors and pour over this black again and see. You can tell how far you can see down into this material by using the metallics. If you saw the one sample I did with the ink, I could actually see the metallics all the way through the epoxy and laying on the bottom of the board. Actually, it made a pretty cool sample, but I was talking to Levi about that, and he said that a lot of the inks will change color on you, which I didn't realize, but they can turn purples and whatnot, I guess. So enough of that. You know, question answered is be careful with your inks and the UV rays. Apparently they'll change colors on you. So anyway, so I'm trying to use this black. I just want to figure this black out. Can I, you know, is it a little translucent or not, or exactly, you know, how it reacts to things. So this is my first attempt. So I thought I'd just do a 3-color dirty pour over this. I'm going to probably mix this silver with no alcohol, and then I'm going to mix these with a little bit of alcohol and my epoxies. So I'll mix up about 6 ounces, give myself about 2 in each. We'll mix those up, and we'll get ready to pour this. I'm going to let it set just a little while longer. We're not anywhere near where I want to get to. We're still within the front half of our working time, so we'll let this set another probably at least 15-20 minutes. We'll come back and we'll start the coloring. Again, I get impatient. This step, just take your time. Don't do this too early. It just doesn't look right. But it's getting real good now. You don't want to be too early in the process, or your colors will just basically flood off the board. So I've let this set up a while. Just mixing a new batch of epoxy that I'm going to do the coloring with. I just decided to go with a few bright colors just to see how far into this black those metallics go. Just kind of experimenting at the moment. That's pretty close to right. I'll give everything just a little bit more. I think that's pretty even. I just evened them up. Now in 2 of them, I want to put some alcohol. Levi's got this process down. I don't, so I'm just randomly going to do this. I'll put some alcohol in the green and the blue. There's me being cheap again. By the time we get this mixed up, the base black should be in pretty good shape. We're probably 40 minutes in now. It's about 2/3 of the way. I'll get these mixed up. Might even just throw a little bit of heat on them. Then I think we'll take the clear cup and dump the others in it. These metallics take some time. Make sure you get them all mixed up or you'll have little lumps in there. That's not good. Lumps not good. I would suppose it would pay me to find some plastic cups that are square on the bottom. But for now, that's what we have. Again, that's my stir stick, so if I can think about it, try not to scrape the top of that stick off in there. So we'll dump all these together. I'll spray the top of this black with some alcohol just to kind of lubricate the top of it, so these colors will slide just a little bit more. Just kind of judge about, how hot you are by how much alcohol you put on. It'll stay on there for just a few minutes. It'll give you time to dump your colors together. I'm just dumping the silver into the clear. You can't spend all day doing it. You got to get back to your piece, but and I've seen lots of videos, people doing this in different ways. There's a lot of people that know a lot more about this than I do. So I'm just kind of showing you some basics that I've learned so far. Again, I haven't been doing this very long. Just kind of been watching what people do. So this is kind of what we're going for. You can stir this once or not, but you don't have to. If you want to, you can. And I'm just going to just try to lay this out there. It'll kind of do the rest on its own. Once you got your colors mixed, make sure there's a layer of alcohol on there, and otherwise just pour away. It's about all you can do at this point. So this sample's so small that this, I'm guessing I'm going to be really close to these edges by the time I get this done, which I didn't want to cover that much, but it's just hard to work with that little of product. On a countertop or something, you could do this easily. Probably easier than what I'm doing here, trying to do it in, on this little board. But anyway, you're starting to see some effects of the alcohol breaking it up. I think this black is awesome. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty good piece. Should give us some good ideas of this black. Some blacks, you can see through a little more than others, so that's kind of what I'm wanting to see here. So far, those metallics are staying pretty much on top. I'm sure they'll settle some, so that's kind of what we're going to find out, is how far those metallics sink down into that black. This is going to change probably for another 40 minutes, I would guess, something like that. So I'll break for just a little while, and we'll come back. I'll come back and check on it here in about 15 minutes and see which direction it's headed. Okay, it's been a few minutes. Um, it's actually not flowing out as much as I thought it would, probably because I didn't put as much epoxy on the base coat. But so it's actually turning out perfect. It's what I was kind of hoping to see. I wanted the color to kind of hold together instead of bleed all out. But in fact, I'm going to take probably my torch, and because I need to get some bubbles popped in here, so I'm going to take it and heat it. But I'm going to heat it from the middle out on this side, and then just let it be and see what it does from there. And then I may come back and do that back the other way. So I'll just use a little bit of heat to do whatever I'm going to do with it now. All I know is what's going to happen is the metallics are going to try to sink down to the bottom where that gets thinner. So you'll start seeing more black come up through, say, the center section where I just heated it. So you can kind of bring some colors up through. You can manipulate it a little bit. You know, if you don't like it, change it. I guess that's kind of my motto with this whole thing. You know, it's hard to mess them up. So if you don't like it, change it. But be careful of how far you change it. You know, it started to do some cool things in here. So I'm going to try to push some more of these metallics out here to see if we can get them down into that black. You can, if you don't like it, change it. I'm just going to put a sheet of alcohol over this, just kind of as quick as I can. That'll let all those metallics run just a little bit more. Hopefully fade it out a little bit more on these edges. I'm in a fireproof building. Still not breaking up like I want, so I'm going to go ahead and break it up just a little bit. Does some kind of cool things. Almost looks like shells coming out now. Now this one, I definitely wouldn't say this is a countertop project. I'm just doing this to kind of test this black. Levi had asked me if I'd check it out, and it's a really dense black. Normally you don't have these metallics even earlier in the epoxy life of your base. They won't set up this much. This is seems like some really good stuff. Still not real happy with the design. I don't know whether to keep playing with it or not. I think the warmer I get it, the better I like it. That should spread it out just a little bit more. I'm getting it pretty hot right now. About 105. Don't want to get it much hotter than that, but this is fine. 105 is perfectly okay. Right now the alcohol will react with it pretty well while it's still hot. So still don't like it, so I'm going to try a little bit of alcohol while it's hot. But again, this one's just to let Levi know how well this black is, and it's pretty incredible. Those metallics just they won't penetrate it, so it's pretty cool stuff. But you can see now, you know, how much it's spread out. I got kind of lucky. I thought this might be too much for this board, but I just needed some black on one side or the other to tell how those metallics set in that black. I don't normally like green and blue together, but I think that's pretty cool with the different shades that it throws off. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave it just about where it's at. Unless I get bored, I'll do something else to it. I don't know how much time we got left. We're probably through 80% of our working time, so I'm just going to let it set a little while. I'll come back probably in the late 90% of our working time and decide if I want to do anything else, but then we'll have to let it be. Okay, I'm probably about 90% through the working time, and it looks pretty cool, but I'm still, I don't know, I want something different out of it. This black is super black. I think this could be even a, you know, I don't know, a whole different class of black, because it is so black that you don't get a lot of fading into the black. It goes from color almost directly to black. So I think I could have got by with even half as much as I used and still have been plenty. So I don't know, so far it's almost like I like this black for this type of project and the other black for some of the other projects. So I'm not sure. Levi, you're just going to have to decide which one you want. Normally these colors will float out here a lot further in the other blacks, because you can see deeper into it. But this one, it's almost drops straight off. It's a lot different to work with. But it holds color up on top really well. I hate to keep spraying alcohol on it, but I just want to keep trying to wash that out and see if I can make any of that sink and more of that black come up through it. Which I might or might not like, but that's spreading it out just a little bit. Getting a few more cells of that black popping up through there. We're just washing those colors off to the sides of the drops. Gives it a little bit of a geode effect or something like that. Washing this silver out into the black a little bit further. I think I'm just about to call this one done. Of course, I say that every time. Yeah, we're really close to finished product there. I think I'm going to just leave that just like it is. I can mess it up right now and not have time to fix it, so I think it's time to quit. Well, anyway, yes, Levi, this black is it's definitely black. And it normally these colors right here, they don't end this abruptly. In some of the other ones you've seen it fade off real slow. So these colors are setting up on top of this black a whole lot better. So that'll change a little bit, but this is pretty close right now. A little bit of alcohol to evaporate left, but it's once that's done, it's pretty much a finished product. So yeah, impressed with the black, Levi. I just wanted to come back for a minute, kind of show you. This is kind of the final attempt at doing anything to this. Where I'd say I'm at probably 110% of what I would call a normal working time. So at this point, I could really mess this up, but I'm again just still experimenting with things. So I just want to see how far I can push something. So I'm going to put some pearl white over this, and it might not do anything except just set right on top, but that might leave a kind of a cool effect. I'll go over the black and everything and see what kind of something we can make out of this. And we'll let that set for just a minute, and then I'll probably hit it with a little bit of alcohol. But that might be enough alcohol already. Yeah, I think I'm going to hit it with a little bit more alcohol. Kind of in the colored area. Definitely screwed that up. I knew I was taking a chance. This is so late that you just can't get it to do anything. This would be an awesome bar top. with, I don't know how well you can see this green color. If I use their glow in the dark instead, that's pretty cool stuff. It's breaking up a little bit, but not like I would like it to. The good thing about it is, unless I was to heat this up, which I don't even want to attempt that at this point, that silver metallic I just put on, if I wanted to bring this back to the way it was, I could always sand that down and then polish it back up, or pour a clear back over it, and it would look 3 times as deep. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, the metallics have a real tough time sinking into this black, so that's a benefit on one end and not so much on the other end. You know, if you want your colors to sink, I would use probably the original black prime coat. I don't know if they're going to continue to have the old stuff or not, but I like the old stuff for certain projects. But if you want a black that is a good strong black, their new stuff's exactly what you need. I'm not able to get those to blend in hardly at all now with that silver. So if I wanted to bring it back, I would just sand that silver off and pour a clear back over it. So anyway, I got to see kind of what I was after. Just wanted to test that new black, and I guess I don't have one answer for him. It's an awesome black if you want black. It covered this tan board with no problem. Much stronger black than the original black prime coat.